So make sure that's not what you're trying to identify confused names. You got your ID. No, I'm not saying you're confused. You got your ID. I didn't say that. I just said that's fine.
We're trying to figure out what's going on. It was following behind us sporadically.
Stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking. You're not saying anything. Gotta make your phone silent.
That's right, record them. Please record them.
James, calm down, bro.
We're not doing that, bro.
I'm not afraid now. Y'all know that, right?
Bro, yo, you about to go back to the car, bro.
Hey, look, don't get us.
You about to go to the car, bro.
I thought we just had this conversation.
So y'all, we out here in Staunton, Sundown Town. These officers pulled up hella deep. We trying to figure out what's going on.
I couldn't answer because I was trying to call Bill.
You're all for different right here. Fine.
Hold this for a second.
Why are they stopping for?
I don't know. Why they even stopping for? So you drop your pen, your thing for you.
I had eggs, but I had bacon first. I had no bacon. I had eggs. I don't know. I got the sausage, but I got the bacon. I got the bacon right here. Shit, just make a whole meal, you heard?
You're not in trouble. I'm just asking.
Right there, man. So why you over there, buddy?
James, come over here.
Oh, you're the plan. Okay.
Stay over here. Stay over here. Stay over here.
That's why you thought I told you?
Don't give them no reason to turn up for you. Don't give them any reason. Period. We're not giving them no reason to turn up on us. That's what they want. Stay over here. Stay over here. Stay over here.
My anxiety is high right now.
I know, so stay over here with me. Stay over here with me.
They took my ID.
I'm not giving them my
They
ID.
took my
I can
ID.
record for you. You'll go to the car. I can record for you. Okay?
No reason.
Here, I'm gonna turn the air conditioner on. Here, I'm gonna turn the air on. Hold on. Can you? I'm turning the air. Go to the car. I'm turning the air. Go to the car. Go to the car. Go to the car. Go ahead. Go to the car.
Have a nice day, though.
Here, hold this. Let me take it to the car. Can you hold this for me? Can you focus on that for me, please?
Yeah. You come to me asking me for no ID. I ain't assault nobody, ever. Never. So you're not gonna fuck with me. I know them laws. Nice try. I know them too well. Yeah, James over there. And he gone. I'm holding her phone for her right now. She coming back down. Yes, sir. Tomorrow said, can I get your ID? No, sir, you can't. No, sir.
Let's see what's going on. Y'all make sure y'all share this out. Screen grab. They trying to identify people without giving any type of information. They came up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Got this one. 1, 2, 3.
And make sure y'all sharing this out, man. You know what I'm saying? They came and swarmed us. We left the protest to come here to the gas station to gas up, and this is why we stick together, because they swarm. Y'all literally see that they swarmed us. So they swarmed us.
It really is a tactical sport.
Oh, sure, but you can't then come and say, hey, you're my voice of reason, help me out.
Well,
when you didn't give me the courtesy of a call. So these guys are like, what the?
We did. We called you yesterday.
I talked to your captain 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
When I talked to him 2 hours ago, he told me about the jury trial. I told him if there were any disruptions to let me know. And we talked about de-escalation, and he said he would. So the fact that you didn't, now you've escalated the situation, now you're asking me to help you de-escalate.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from. However, where I'm coming from is this is a simple traffic stop, and everyone can go home in about 3 seconds.
I am going to tell him what I told you that I'm going to tell him.
What's simple about the traffic stop? Look at how is this simple?
But you have to understand that if you had contacted me, I could have met you somewhere. You didn't have to do this.
You just told me you didn't know who he is. You don't know who they are either.
Obviously, we were together downtown. Obviously, we're in the same spot. I do not know who he is, but obviously, I know of him. He is connected to people I know. You know that. Now, the way you're talking to me now is not respectful. I don't think that's respectful.
I think I'm being very respectful.
I think it's ridiculous.
So what are y'all trying to do right now?
You could have called me and told me about it like your captain said he would if there was an issue.
I believe I'm being extremely respectful. Okay. I asked you to come talk to me. My hand is in my pocket. We are
You
not.
didn't stop me. I'm not your traffic stop.
No, but we knew the person who's a suspect potentially, and we need to ID.
Suspect potentially or suspect?
He's a suspect because
We have a
Paige and
legal
Warren, the
right,
stalkers,
and if you just please let us do our job, you guys can go home.
Hold on. Don't use words like
I'm
that.
going home
I am
now.
not stopping you from doing your job. You asked for my help. I told you what I would do. I'm still going to do it,
Okay,
even though this
let's do that,
conversation
then
is dissipating in its effectiveness.
All right, well, you can leave right after we do all this.
Well,
Do
so
all
I'm
what?
detained?
No, Mike, come on.
I'm asking.
You are
Words
not
mean
detained.
something. You said
You are not
I-
detained,
Okay,
Mike.
Let me talk to you.
Thank you.
I don't even know who you're looking for. So, whoever he was talking to, he is served and he has the legal right to ask for your identification because you are a suspect in a crime.
You got stickers. You got stickers. You don't got stickers.
It's crazy how Warren and Paige Cash literally were the ones that stormed the Capitol building, got a Capitol police officer killed, but then act like they really backed the blue.
My question is, what
crazy.
was y'all's reason for pulling them over?
It's absolutely crazy.
Suspect in assault.
So y'all saw that there was a suspect in it. What was y'all problem? You had to have a reason to pull them over in the first place. Unless was this a felony warrant? Was it a felony
The
warrant?
suspect for the assault was in the vehicle.
How do you know that?
Because we watched him get in the vehicle.
So you watched him in the vehicle. So don't you have to have proper cause to pull over a vehicle? So outside of
So
a
I
felony
understand some
warrant?
people have given you their identifications. I understand at least one individual hasn't. That individual doesn't appear willing. I have expressed to that individual what I told you I would. Okay?
Oh, so wait. But even still, outside of a felony warrant, what was their reason for pulling over the vehicle in the first place?
Reasonable suspicion for the
You
misdemeanor.
can't pull over a vehicle. Was it the
misdemeanor?
driver?
It's not matter from yesterday?
Was it the driver?
We're investigating that crime, and we're trying to obtain the individual's identity.
So
But
warrant.
so do y'all have a
Wait,
warrant?
well, actually, what happens
no, there's
is
no warrant now. It's a criminal investigation.
warrant.
If you don't have a warrant, how are you
no,
able
listen,
to?
Jafari.
Suspicion.
Warren Cash, who is a terrorist, right, filed a complaint, and Staunton rightfully told him stop stalking them. So then he went to the chief, and he made a lot of noise, and now they're doing the bidding of a right-wing terrorist. Because you know that this is ridiculous, and if you watch the video, you know that the only people that were victims of a crime were the people being stalked yesterday.
And you can't pull people over for misdemeanor offenses.
So it's a criminal investigation. They have reasonable suspicion that a suspect in a crime was in the vehicle. All we're trying to do right now is obtain that person's
Where's your
identification.
reasonable suspicion? Can you show us any evidence, or
Sergeant Coolman's been investigating that. Okay.
you have to
We
show
have
us
all the
evidence? But even
information.
still,
we're not going to place right now to release.
no.
all
My
the
thing is right now.
details.
My thing is I'm very knowledgeable of the law, and you can't just pull people over for quote unquote reasonable suspicion outside of a felonious warrant. And there is no felonious warrant. You say you pulled his car with somebody. You said reasonable suspicion,
which is grounds.
but you don't
to
have any
detain someone to get
evidence.
their-
You have no evidence at all. You haven't presented anything. All you.
We're not going to present the evidence to you. That's not how this works. The evidence.
So y'all are trying to get them to present evidence to you by saying stuff, by trying to get them to say stuff that will incriminate themselves, but y'all don't have any actual evidence at the moment.
We've explained it to you with the reasonable suspicion for the stop.
Yeah, I mean, that's reasonable suspicion for BS, because you honestly you can't pull people over for this misdemeanor. It's a misdemeanor. And pulling a whole vehicle over, unless the driver is who you're suspecting, this is all going to get thrown out to technicality. So y'all should have just waited. Y'all don't watch like the movies where they wait for the right time to pounce on the right person, because y'all pulled over this vehicle. The driver of this vehicle is not who you were suspecting. Therefore, you don't have the right to ask individuals in this car for anything, because they're not being suspected of a crime. Only the driver can be suspected of a crime unless y'all say otherwise. So if y'all didn't ask anybody here, am I being suspected of a crime? It should be free to go outside of the driver. Y'all pulled over the driver of this van. Y'all didn't pull over individuals in this van.
We explain to everyone that everyone else is free to leave except that individual, and we still need their.
But that's not how this works. We keep us safe. Just like y'all pull up 90 deep, we pull up 90 deep.
Yeah, we can't leave the guy alone.
Right. So I mean, y'all gonna have us
but
lead up so y'all can kill him or something? Is your body camera activated? It's not blinking or anything.
It's on.
Oh, okay. Y'all didn't pull him over though. Y'all pulled over the vehicle driver. Y'all
Yeah,
not
who-
talking
who
to the
is
vehicle
detained?
driver. Yeah, who's detained?
Just that one individual.
What's
that
his
has
name?
not- That's what we're trying to find. Once we figure out his name, we can all leave. That's all.
What you mean?
That's all we don't have.
You can't just make somebody in the car give up their information, bro. That's not how it works.
So if this van was to pull off,
As long as that
person,
one individual in the green shirt that we need his name and information.
If he's in there,
But y'all don't have anything. Y'all not presenting us with nothing.
that's not a
That's not how it works.
That's not an arrest or
We're not going
detainment.
to arrest him right now once we get his name.
If you have his name, his name is gonna let you arrest him.
To swear out the warrant against him. That's how it works.
But y'all don't have a warrant, so y'all didn't search the car. So y'all didn't have a reason to stop this car in the first place. But y'all followed the car without a warrant.
What was the
Y'all
arrest for?
y'all followed the car without a warrant. We have y'all on camera.
What gave y'all the right to
We
make
got y'all on camera following the car. We got y'all on camera following us. So if y'all don't have no warrant, that's against the law.
Yeah, it's not. Why is there a traffic stop?
That's against the law. There has to be a reason. There's no real suspicion with no warrant.
That's
For that individual
That's
being
not
in
a
the
reason.
But that's not the driver.
That's
You can't. That's not real suspicion, dog.
It's
that's
Bro,
why
you
that's not a
can't-
that's not a reason for
even
a
the
traffic.
rules, bro.
We had suspicion that
We had suspicion that somebody may suspiciously be somebody that's suspiciously somebody. Fuck out of here.
Nah, ain't no talking away from everybody. We do everything together. That's fine. That's fine. We're not doing that one-on-one. You didn't pull him over. You pulled us over.
And that's what you're going to
So
do.
deal with that shit. We saw y'all. We saw y'all.
But you understand that, and then he goes home.
Y'all put him over without
He
a
also
warrant.
knows that you're going to then give that information to the agent warrant, right? So they'll have his address. They'll be able to track it.
But you guys are allowed to get warrants on them too.
You pulled him over without a warrant, though.
Do you honestly don't need a warrant? Do you, I'm sorry.
It's a traffic infraction.
You need reasonable suspicion.
He wasn't a
You might
driver.
not be aware of this. We actually can't, because the magistrate's office is somehow conflicted,
lying, man.
because we protest outside there. So in order to get I'm told I can go to Lexington and get a warrant. But you know what happens when you go to Lexington and tell them you want to get a warrant in Augusta County? They tell you to go to Augusta County. So we are in a very diminished process. You guys, we made this stalking complaint to you guys yesterday. You didn't take that complaint. Maybe the good thing to do, and maybe this gentleman would be willing to tell you who he is to file. I don't know. I'm not saying. But I would certainly be willing to file a stalking complaint. And maybe you guys could handle that like you're handling this, and at least I could tell them. Good.
And I can help you
You
facilitate
didn't yesterday. That would have been helpful.
Man, you bullshitting. So you the highest on duty, this is lieutenant. Y'all have to say, I don't understand how y'all pull somebody over that's not the driver. If the driver's not being suspected of a crime, how can you pull over the vehicle?
I have both explained to you the reasonable suspicion for the traffic stop. Just all we're trying to do is get that name so that the person can get the warrant. That's all we're trying to do is facilitate that investigation. We've got reasonable suspicion that this person was involved.
Can you show us the reasonable suspicion?
We're not going to, have all the evidence out here right
So
now.
can they show whoever the reasonable suspicion?
We're not going to, have all of that out now. The reasonable suspicion and probable cause, all those details will come out in court. Okay?
And pulling people over without a felonious warrant is just how it happens in Staunton? You can just pull vehicles over randomly?
Well, in the Commonwealth of Virginia, all you
without
need
a
is
warrant?
reasonable suspicion that someone's involved in a crime to stop and detain them.
But you didn't stop them because they weren't driving. You stopped the driver. You stopped the driver, not the person who you're talking
and
about.
Everyone else at that point is free to leave except the one person we need the name from. That's all we're trying to do is get him.
No type of charges, none of that.
I told y'all though. I told y'all how petty they are. I told y'all. They petty as fuck. They petty. They petty. But they petty. I told you. You know why I ain't worried about it, Jafar? Because you know who I got on speed dial. You know who I got on retainment. The number 2 defense attorney in the state of Virginia, David Whaley.
There it is.
Go ahead, baby. Talk to me. You heard me. You heard me. Yeah.
So y'all, I'm saying, share this out. I'm saying they definitely not letting us know. They won't know type of crime, but they're trying to. They out here pulling the malarkey. They pulled up, deep. Like I said again, please make sure y'all share this out. We said we're in a sundown town, and they haven't liked what we've been doing. So they followed us to the Sheetz where we're trying to fill up gas tank and.
Y'all corrupt. Y'all liars. White liars. They corrupt.
Everything.
So we trying to make sure everything
Call of
right.
Duty gear too. You got the extra ammunition.
So y'all see, he's left-handed. That's why his pistol over here.
I'm Mr. Washington from Norfolk, Virginia.
Left-handed
I don't
shooter.
have nothing to hide. I feed the community. I'm sell drugs. I'm sell weed. I feed my community.
So what we doing? We gonna stand up or something? So what are we waiting on now?
So they are going to they're going to arrest Vaughn for obstruction of justice if he doesn't give them his information. They're saying that they have a complaint from yesterday and the assaults, which didn't happen. So he's saying that if he doesn't give him his identification, nicknames, of course.
He just said they're going to arrest Vaughn.
I mean, if we can get it this way, we'll just leave it.
Body cams on.
Absolutely.
How y'all doing? Fuck.
Is that the Galaxy 3?
Actually, I don't know.
It's whatever work issues us.
Probably is a 3 because they will give us good stuff.
Size
Good
6.
stuff.
Look like you wear size 7 female. Size 8, 9. What's y'all doing, man? They out here.
I don't need nobody's IDs. They need to go about their business. If they're naive. we just was trying to go back to our, about our married business.
Yeah.
They stopped us from going about our married business.
You can stop it. How would you? If everyone could just get along, I don't know what the answer is.
Sometimes you have to yell, just get along.
That nigga salty as hell.
Y'all, let's see again. Make sure y'all share this out. So, I mean, we out here in Staunton, Virginia. Oh, my bad. They ran up on us at the daggone gas station. Like, all this deep. They probably brought, like, every cop that got in Staunton out here to pull out. They say they have reasonable suspicion that they have a suspect that could suspiciously be a suspect in something they could reasonably have suspicion about. If that makes sense. Yeah, they got a whole lieutenant out here, so I'm assuming that she's who's in charge.
No interest in Georgia.
I'm not hearing that. Y'all better take what I just said. You got my information right there. Dig a little deeper, and you're gonna find out I'm not the one to fuck with.
Since when do cops track down people to get information for something?
Yeah, when y'all start tracking down people to get information
A61.
without a warrant, isn't that why you need a warrant? Isn't that the whole reason for a warrant?
That's why I'm finna get them.
To open up an investigation?
I need all three of y'all code. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So I'm assuming because you're the lieutenant, you're the
The
supervisor?
mightiest weapon in this country is a pen.
Which one's bigger?
I got a mighty one.
Well, the lieutenant's the ship commander.
You want to see the video
I'm one
so
right
you know
there.
I never assaulted
One right there.
anybody?
All the badge numbers and all for him.
Y'all want to see the
Cool.
video?
How come you don't got your stickers on?
They can't hear it.
What do you mean by stickers?
He got his
cares?
stickers on.
None of us have
wanna
stickers
see
on.
the
He
video?
has badges and. Oh, he has chevrons.
a captain.
He's a sergeant.
Do y'all want to see the video?
And,
Because if y'all going to charge me, I have to present evidence to show that I am innocent. Y'all want to see the video? Or y'all want to play games? Then I'll be the Capital One man.
You want all those names and badge numbers?
Yeah.
Thank y'all. Y'all free to go.
Thanks, guy. Miss you.
I stopped as a courtesy.
Hey, don't worry. Y'all, I'll be seeing y'all down the yellow brick road. We all can see the wizard. You hear me? We all can go see this wizard on the yellow brick road. See you there.
Yeah, they breaking out. Yeah, that was disrespectful and being suspicious.
All right, do you need to get gas?
Yes.
All right, well, you need to pull around to a gas station.
I might pull out too.
Okay.
Stick the boys on us for no reason.
I'm suspiciously suspicious if they're suspicious. Yeah. All right, y'all, they pulling off. We're gonna turn this off now. Peace and power.